It's getting harder to fill jobs across the state of Minnesota as a worker shortage continues to grow. North Hennepin Community College is one of several Minnesota state colleges and universities that received funding from the state legislature to help bridge the workforce gap. Reporter Shannon Sladden explains what they are doing.
Finding a job in 2020 is a far cry from searching the Help Wanted ads. At this Student and Career Day in Plymouth last fall, manufacturers came after students.
Had you guys heard of Protolabs before?
To show there's a demand for skilled workers. As companies get creative to find workers, colleges like North Hennepin Community College in Brooklyn Park are doing their part too.
How do we make sure that we're holistically helping students, so providing them internship opportunities, providing them work experience opportunities, which is rare when you think about a 2-year institution, very common in the 4-year, but not as common in the 2-year.
Boosted by money from the legislature, North Hennepin will turn part of their library into a workforce development center, where advisors will be able to directly connect students to job experience.
Business and industry partners that would be able to provide them internships, externships, and other work experience opportunities while they're, going to school. So kind of the old earn and learn model, but potentially when they're done, they would have an opportunity to be able to get employed by some of these employers that are our community partners.
This space won't be finished until next fall, but the work with students has already begun.
I'm a computer science major. Right now I'm working on completing my computer science transfer pathway here at North Hennepin.
Students like Nathan Lantane-Getch also have extra incentive to stay the course. He is one of 80 students in a high-demand field who receive scholarships. Nathan hopes that will help him stand out even more.
Once you're all done with college and you showcase an employer this scholarship, and I think it really represents the value of how much hard work you're putting into whatever career that you're pursuing or degree you're pursuing.
In Brooklyn Park, Shannon Sladden, CCX News.
The number of workforce development scholarships awarded this year is 300% over what was awarded for the last academic year. A soft launch of the Workforce Development Center is expected in May or June. There are plans to revamp the oldest playground in the new Hope Park system. The playground equipment at Beijing Park was last replaced almost 25 years ago. The city plans to get public input to see what changes residents would like to see in this park. Some changes mentioned so far is dog park fencing, a climbing feature, and native plants landscaping. You can also expect to see improvements at Sipe Park in Osseo. That city will receive a $10,000 Hennepin County youth baseball and softball facility grant. The money will go toward new grounds equipment, installing a new clay infield, a new pitcher's mound, and new benches for players and spectators. This isn't the first time the Twins have helped revamp the park. The Twins Community Foundation awarded money to revamp the park way back in 2001. A Golden Valley woman says she wanted more out of life. So several years ago, she left her commercial interior design job and started a nonprofit called Global Village Connect. There are several programs aimed at helping people in Uganda and Tanzania. Reporter Sonia Goin shows us how this organic sustainable farm program is feeding the bellies and minds of students.
Joanne Trangle says she was motivated to help others after she adopted her son from Ethiopia 10 years ago.
I decided that nobody should have to give up their child because they can't educate or feed them.
She couldn't work in Ethiopia for many reasons. Through some friends here in Minnesota, she launched her nonprofit, Global Village Connect, in Uganda.
I had some Ugandan friends and they said, come and you can stay with my family, I'll introduce you to communities.
In 2014, she started a school farm in central Uganda so the children could eat and attend classes.
Oftentimes these kids go to school with no breakfast and they have no lunch, so by the time they go home it's 5 o'clock and they've really not eaten.
Parents have an incentive to send the children to school.
We started the farm with 350 students and the school grew to 1,000 students within a few years because parents realized their kids could get lunch.
Eventually, Joanne opened another farm school in Uganda. They have about 9 acres. The student farmers grow a variety of produce, corn, bananas, and peanuts.
Some of it's for cash crops and some of it's to feed the children.
We eat lunch, we eat portion beans.
One student had this to say about the program. Farm school has helped him to be a better student.
Now I can concentrate in class. I get what the teacher is teaching. It has given us energy to do other things.
The children and parents are learning best farming practices.
We have experts from the area come in and teach these things. They can bring back that knowledge home because most of the families are sustainable farmers.
The schools are having an impact. Graduation rates are on the rise.
Graduation rates have grown from 62% to 92%. So that's pretty awesome.
And although Uganda is thousands of miles away,
I have so many friends in Uganda, and I feel like it's kind of my second home.
Joanne is dedicated to making a difference in the lives of people she now calls family.
It's gratifying. It feels like you're doing something, even if you help one person or two people, that's, it feels good.
Sonia Goins, CCX News.
Joanne recently teamed up with the Minneapolis Jewish Federation to develop another farm school at a private Jewish school in Uganda. If you would like more information on how you can get involved, head to our website at ccxmedia.org. We'll end today with a special art exhibit that's only up during the month of January in Brooklyn Park. The artwork of Karen Crowell will be on display in the art gallery at North Hennepin Community College in an exhibit called Mapping Memory. As we go to break, we'll leave you with more of Mapping Memory.
The Champlin Park boys hockey team is still searching for consistency, but they're playing well in January. Here's Jason Malillo with more.
Champlin Park is a pretty young squad this season, and there have been growing pains. But the Rebels might be finding their stride in 2020.
We've been playing really well together and just like playing as a complete team and just getting shots on net and keeping everything simple.
We haven't turned the puck over at the blue line as much. We've moved the puck a lot better and just really focused on getting a lot more shots than just trying to dangle through people.
Tom Potter is in his first season as the sole head coach at Champlin Park, but he's been with the program for almost a decade. He's also a Champlin Park alum and is passionate about Rebel hockey.
Champlin has always been known as the team that they're a 4 seed. Maybe they get lucky to get a 3 seed, but they don't make it far into the playoffs. And that's the mentality we got to change here. Is just the fact that we expect to go farther, and we expect to be a team that's going to contend year in and year out. And I think we're getting to that point now. And the guys, coming up their bantams, and now that are on the high school team, they've started to win a little bit more, and they know that they can beat these teams. And the knowing and the confidence goes a long way when it comes to actually performing and beating teams.
In many of its losses this winter, Champlin Park has struggled to play 3 complete periods. There's about a month left in the regular season, and to make a playoff run, the Rebels will have to rectify that.
It's understanding that, okay, we played well in the first period, now we need to even play better in the second period. Smarter hockey, keep it even simplified even more. And, when we do that, we end up coming out and winning some hockey games, But when we don't take it, honestly, and try to think that we're gonna skate through somebody, it turns around on us pretty quick.
The goal for us is definitely make it past the first round because historically we've been knocked out in the first round quite a bit. It'd be really nice to get to the section championship and then make it to the state tournament, but we'll take it by game.
Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
Well, the Park Center wrestling program has had pockets of success, but hasn't generally been strong. The Pirates are working hard to change that this season. Seeing the growth in number of wrestlers and the competitive level has been fun for the Pirates.
I went through the program as a 7th grader, and it wasn't really a good team. We had 14 members or 14 teammates, so it's really interesting to see how it grows. How it went from nothing, 14 members to 40 people now in the room. So
ever since my freshman year, we've been steadily growing our team, and it's just been amazing seeing finally our program being full, 40 kids coming in. It's great.
I can't take all the credit for sure. We've got a great group of kids. They've responded to our coaching. They've stepped up. They put in a ton of extra work, and so that's why we've seen some positive results this year.
Female wrestlers make up part of that growth. Park Center has a handful of girls in the program.
It's tough, when they're working with the guys, but we're hopeful that in the next few years, or maybe even sooner, that we'll see sanctioned girls wrestling, just so that it becomes a little bit more equitable and fair for them. But it's encouraging. It's fresh energy. It's like visible inspiration, you know.
The Pirates are 5-2 in dual meets and have consistently filled out a lineup, something that isn't true in many local programs. They've also beat some teams that historically they haven't been able to.
Beating Maple Grove and Rogers, you know, we never really think about beating them, but then, like, you know, it's finally growing our team, and like knowing that we can do it now, it feels great.
Park Center is still far from a top 10 caliber team, and they won't seriously challenge for a section team title. But they do have a shot at getting individuals into the state tournament for the first time in a few years.
Over the years, we haven't had a lot going to the state tournament, or either, you know, just competing for it. But right now, like I said, we put in our time. It's our time to shine, so we're just waiting for the opportunity.
Park Center's wrestlers are not satisfied, but they are happy with the growth of this team.
So Oyedokan didn't get discouraged by not quite getting it early.